Welcome to Endurance Unplugged with Josh. I am your host, Josh, and I am joined by Ironman Operations Director Angie Hengst, and she is getting ready to put on Ironman Maryland 2025. 26 would be next year. We're not there yet. I'm thinking about a 26 event, but 2025 is coming up in just a few days, and when you listen to this, it may be just a few hours till you're getting to Cambridge, Maryland for this year's event that takes place on Saturday, September 20th. This is a new podcast I've been putting together here the last few weeks here. The idea is that through this podcast, what I want to do is inform you guys of, I am based out of Central Pennsylvania, but I want to talk about events all over the country. Maybe events taking place like today. I think as we're talking, I think World Champ 70.3 in Spain is taking place, right? And big shout out to those guys over there putting on an excellent event. Talk to you guys with the race directors, event organizers, with Ironman, maybe Rock and Roll, UTMB, those type of events. I'm also bringing to light some other events that we have going on around the country. I'm also a race director here locally of a few different events like Tussey Mountain Back, 50-mile ultra, and relay race. So I also want to talk to you guys about bring on race directors, operations directors, event organizers to talk about what to expect race weekend. Whether it's for triathlons, we all want to know what the water temp is. That's usually the number one question, not how to get to the race location, where's the transition, what's the course like, yada yada. It's water temp. And for you, Angie, it's questions probably 1B is what's cooking with the jellies, and maybe 1C, the tides. So we can talk about that in a few minutes. But we got the race coming up here soon, so we want to talk about some different little things going on with the race. I call it this type of podcast an athlete briefing light. This doesn't replace the athlete briefing if you've been to an Ironman event, Ironman 70.3 event. You want to always go to the athlete briefing. If you're going to Ironman 70.3 North Carolina, I think however many years they've been going on, they've never had the same run course. So you want to catch the athlete briefing so you don't end up running down some crazy alley down there in North Carolina. But Angie's race has been taking place, and Angie's been part of Ironman Maryland for many, many years. And what year is this for Ironman Maryland?
This is year 11.
Year 11, and you started out as volunteer director, right?
I did. Well, actually, technically, the very first year in 2014, I was on the site team.
Okay.
And then the year after that, I became volunteer director for both Ironman Maryland and Eagleman.
Mm-hmm. And that is awesome. Those are two amazing races. Those are actually Eagleman and Pennsylvania are on the same day next year, but there's going to be lots of people on the Eastern Seaboard to fill up those slots. So it's going to be a great day for Ironman. Lots going on, so we're looking forward to that next year. But now we're talking about the Ironman Maryland, and the race location where most everything happens, except for the finish line in Expo, is at Jerry Boyle Park, correct?
Yes, that is correct. So transition, swim start, swim finish, bike start, bike finish, run start.
All that kind of good stuff is at Jerry Boyle Park. And before I go any farther, so Angie was the volunteer director and then the race director for a few years, and now is the operations director. The race director currently is Brian Snow in his first year for Eagleman and Maryland, who's done a fantastic job, but he's a little busy right now with first year. That is definitely a crazy year, that first year. It's like all kind of coming at you. So he's doing an excellent job, and he's got a great team there, and there's going to be a great team delivering an excellent product next weekend. Starting Thursday is the Expo opens up, correct?
Wednesday afternoon,
the Expo opens up. We'll get into some of that information here in a few minutes. But race week info, for race weekend info. So, we got the operations director here, Angie from Ironman Maryland. The number one question we always get as a race director, I think even if you're organizing a sprint triathlon that's in a pool, local like YMCA pool, everybody's going to ask you first thing 6 months before the race, and now we're just a matter of days and hours away from jumping in that water there. What is our expected? Do you have any idea, or should I just tell them to go to the IRONMAN Maryland the pages that the athletes put up to get the current water temp?
No, so today I think we measured it at around like 74.
Okay,
So,
that is as of recording of this, that is the Sunday, September 14th. So this is not the official day of morning of race temp. That will be put out on the Facebook page race morning, and they will have that temp come out really early in the morning. So this is several days. This is just kind of what it's at right now.
Yeah.
So all right, race weekend's coming up. As you said, the race is Saturday, September 20th. The expo starts on Wednesday, and what are those times that the expo is going to be open on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, so on Wednesday, 1 to 5. Thursday will be 9 to 5. And Friday, 9 to, oh, I'm testing my memory now. I think we're 9 to 3 Friday.
And you can confirm that also by going to the Ironman. Just put into your search engine Ironman Maryland, and you can go to all the details. You can download the athlete guide, obviously all the maps. I'll bring up the maps here in a minute of the transition, bike, run, swim, all that kind of good stuff. And so, you can get expo times Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There'll be expo times Saturday, and then the awards is on Sunday, correct?
It is, yep, at the Hyatt.
All the roll
Yep.
downs, at the Hyatt. Yeah. So, all right. So we got race weekend starting Wednesday at the expo. All right, let's look at race morning. Where do athletes? I know it's events all over the country that have done. Sometimes the parking can be a little bit challenging, and so we want to make sure that just whatever details you can pass on about the parking, checking out the guide. What are some suggestions that you would give with the parking for athletes and spectators?
Yeah, so the most hassle-free parking would be parking at Maces Lane Middle School. Just a few miles from transition. We have a free shuttle that runs from the school starting at 4:30 a.m. and will go until 2 a.m. the following morning. So we'll just continuously back and forth. That's free parking, drops you off right outside of Jerry Bull Park, so you don't have to worry about anything. For those people that do like to have their vehicle a little bit closer, the park is in a residential part of Cambridge, so it's just street parking, but it gets filled up very quickly. And again, this is residential, so residents are parking on the street. We want to make sure you're not blocking driveways and that sort of thing. There are two paid parking areas that are operated not by Ironman, but by local residents. One is near Jerry Boyle Park, and another one is actually near the finish line by Long Wharf. So those are options too for people that want to be a little bit closer, but again, you'll have to pay for that as well.
Sure. The busing transportation, I was there last year helping out in the morning. I was working the run course, but the busing transportation, whether it's at Maryland or Happy Valley here, Pennsylvania, the busing transportation, Ironman puts those transportation logistics in place to help make that. It takes a few minutes getting on the bus, getting over there, but not having to drive real close to where the race is taking place can be a headache getting there. So taking the busing, we set those things up to make that process a little bit smoother and less of a crazy headache with people walking all over the place and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. You can. If you're listening to this, it's not live, so you can backspace and you can hit back a few times and catch that parking information a few times and make sure you're squared away with that race morning. Just having that squared away race morning makes it, you already got to get your family member there or you're racing, but if you know the parking logistics, taking the busing, just bringing that blood pressure down a little bit race morning so you can focus more on what you're about to do in the water and such, get your bike, your tires pumped up, all that kind of stuff, and not have to go, where am I going to park?
Yeah.
So,
and just a note for people that if they do use the shuttle, you can bring your bike on it after the race. A lot of people ask about that, but yeah, you can certainly bring your bike on the shuttle back to your car. So after the race.
What time can you pick up your stuff post-race?
Once everyone's in from the bike course, we're saying around 6 p.m., but we may do a soft opening, or 6 p.m., sorry. We may do a soft opening prior to that as things start to slow down. But so if you finish early, come by maybe like 5:30. We might be able to get you in a little bit earlier. And remember, you can always give your friends and family that orange checkout ticket too, and so then you don't even have to worry about it.
Yes, please bring that orange checkout ticket. We have volunteers and staff when you go to pick up your bike. If you have a family member or somebody else picking up your bike, you want to have that ticket. It's just a security measure to make sure that somebody doesn't walk off with your very valuable equipment. So have your family member. They can pick the stuff up, and it can't be like the whole entourage of 50 people that are going to be there watching you. So just the person with the ticket. Spectator areas, talking about family members and such, where are some good suggested spots, whether it's the swim, the bike, the run, all that kind of stuff? Where are some good spots to earmark for family members to see?
Yeah, so Jerry Boyle Park is definitely a great spot. So swim start and finish, bike start and finish. The run comes through there, the run course goes through there, so you'll see your athletes several times while you're on the run. There's playgrounds there, so great for kids. We also have a shuttle that will lead from Jerry Boyle Park over to the high school, which is where one of the bike aid stations is, and bike personal needs. So you can take that shuttle over to the high school and catch your athlete as they come through their second time through the high school. So that's pretty fun. And then, of course, walking down towards Long Wharf, anywhere along High Street into downtown. There's some restaurants, the brewery. That's a really fun place to spectate on the run.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was going to say. If you're bringing spectators, it's an Ironman. And if they're watching me, they're going to be hanging out for quite some time. I'm not unfortunately racing this weekend, but if they were to be watching me, they would probably get hungry. So they're just up from the finish line. There's some food areas there that they can grab some snacks to eat.
Yep, there is downtown. We'll have a few food trucks and beer trucks near the finish line as well. But downtown has a few restaurants too. If you're worried about eating, it's always good to bring snacks with you. But there will be, like I said, some food trucks and then the downtown restaurants. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't plan on necessarily driving anywhere race day because roads are closed. It's kind of a hassle. So definitely plan on getting your steps in around town.
Yeah, I agree. There's lots of good stuff. I remember seeing that last year, the food trucks in the downtown area. That's a lot of fun. I got to take the mic last year from Tony and started cheering people on. I think the DJ or whatever was dropping the volume so you can hear me. I had to hold on to the mic like this. But that was a lot of fun. It's a really fun area. You have an awesome group of volunteers there. On that downtown stretch that's staffing that aid station, and at night they give out the soup and everything. It's a really good group there that cares a lot about the athletes and do a fantastic job. And they're there a long time, and they're doing just a fantastic job with the athletes. So you got the downtown part, and I do suggest that once you're parked and you're down there, as Angie talked about, there's some food trucks, there's some places in the downtown area. Bring some snacks and also sunblock and some water. There'll be water there you can purchase as well, but bring in some water bottles and stuff. And in my experience walking from Jerry Boyle Park to the finish, you can see a lot at Jerry. They're coming through. We'll touch base on this a little bit later, but they're coming through that Jerry Boyle Park on the run multiple times. So you can see a lot there. And then the finish is just down the street a little ways. And so it's all really concise. There's a lot of stuff right there, and it's a great race. It's such a cool event. There's multiple loops of stuff, and so you can see your athlete a bunch of times throughout race day. So starting with, and I'll pull up the maps here real quick for the transition and the swim and the bike run real quick. Let's see. Window, I think here we go. It's going to pull up the run real quick. Here we go. We got the transition. This is Jerry Boyle Park. And all these maps are online that you can see. Here's the cartoon map of the transition. Athletes will be coming down on the run down through here. But you're starting down here. Swim start is here. You go out, and the swim, we'll move to that loop, the two-loop swim course map here in a second. Swim heads out here, and then they come come back in here after their second loop on the swim exit. They come into the transition, they grab their bike, and they head out this far corner and head out on the bike course, the 2-loop bike course. They come back in, and then they run out back in the swimming area, and then the run starts down here. So there'll be a bunch of cade and there'll be some cut-throughs, but there'll be a lot of cade down here, but there are spectator cut-throughs that you'll be able to walk through. Remember, there being one in the swim out area, the fence line here, and there's volunteers that are controlling that, so just listen to them so you're not running into any athletes. But there's lots of good spaces here to watch the court, or watch the event take place. And again, the runners on the run portion will be running through this area. They come in here and they run out this way, and then they come back. It's back and forth, so there's lots of good spots there to watch the event on race day. So to the swim mat, here we go. We got the swim course here, and again, here's that little notch here where they're coming. You start little stage and you swim out here, and it's how many loops? 2, right?
Oh, yes.
2 loops on the swim course. You're making left-hand turns at the red buoys there. Second loop. When you come in, you go past that second last red buoy, and then you make a hard left, come in, and head into the transition here. 2.4 miles, and then once you finish the swim, do you have the peelers, or as the athletes like to call them, the strippers?
Yes, we will have wetsuit peelers.
That's one of the funny labels for the volunteers that the telephone game goes around. People are like, oh yeah, I was a wet strip, or I was a stripper last year, and people are like, what are you talking? They're horrified. They're like, Ironman stripper? Like, yeah, it's where you take the wetsuit off, but you got to tell the athlete to hold on to their swimsuit, especially the guys, or you can have a whoopsie. So if you're racing, you need to make sure if you're a guy and you got like a 2-piece on, you got to hold the shorts on, because you don't want to have accidents with the peeler / wetsuit, the stripper, wetsuit stripper position. Volunteers, you don't want to have any. There's lots of phones out there that'll snap quick, so make sure you got a hold of your shorts as your wetsuit's coming off. 2 loops here, and then as you switch over, head out on the bike course, and it is a 2-loop again, right?
Yes, so 2 loops of that kind of weird shape looking thing.
That shape, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what to call it. Yes. So, and then it'll be the race staff, the bike course staff will have it very well marked, and it's there, but there's traffic. So if you're an athlete, correct, you'll want to make sure that you follow and abide by all, traffic rules and stuff. There'll be law enforcement and stuff out there, but making sure, ride cautiously and carefully, following the rules. And at the athlete briefing, the announcer will go through some of those rules and stuff. We won't go into all the pages of rules, but follow those rules so you don't get a penalty and you can make it through the course cleanly. So 2 loops of this course here. You can find the map on the IRONMAN Maryland website. And then the run course is, it's three, right?
3.5.
3.5, yes. And I had the 3.5. I had the downtown section last year. And then if you're an athlete and you're racing here, every time you make it back through Jerry Boyle Park, you pick up a wristband, right?
Yes.
Yes, so those are cool collector items. But right, I think on the top side here is where the tables usually are. So make sure you pick up your wristbands and don't drop them, or else we'll make you do an extra loop. No, I'm just kidding. There's penalty loops. But here's the park. The run course goes out into this little community. And as part of the run staff team last year, just please remember that you're running through some neighborhoods. People live here, and I know you're running hard, but please make sure that those gel tabs make sure those are pitched by an aid station so we can pick those up. And we want to, as Ironman, we want to make sure that we leave the communities looking better than how we showed up. And so I think that's a really important part, whether it's the parking lot, the bike or the run course. Sometimes a water bottle will pop off on the bike course. It's an accident, it is what it is. But there'll be trash specified areas at each aid station. So I really want to give the athletes just a shout out to call out that we make sure that we deposit trash in the proper areas and not in somebody's front yard or water ditch. We want to respect the community at all of our events, so we're welcome back in the following years. So run course, and this part over here, this side over here is where it's the half, where the athletes will come back through here for that halftime. They come up. This is a downtown portion where Angie was talking about, where there's some snacks. It's just down from the finish line. Up here, here's where I would grab the mic last year, and maybe I'll make an appearance this year with the mic and grab it away from somebody. But this aid station rocks. And then you come down here, and this is where the finish is. It's a tight area. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I think it's with the Ironman experience, Ironman event experience, we try to make that finish line a close and exciting area where you get to cheer on your athletes, your loved one that you're there to see, and all the other athletes that are coming through. And that's a nice finish line area there in that section. And the expo is right. If you need to get a water bottle, race day or whatever, there's the expo that's there that you can get all that kind of stuff. That's open starting on Wednesday.
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, let's go back here. Oops. All right, I think we're back together here. All right, so we got the course, just to highlight, Jerry Boyle Park, swims 2 laps. You transition the whole day is at Jerry Boyle Park. The bike is 2 laps on the bike course, cautious of traffic, follow the rules. You'll get more rules at the athlete briefing at the expo. And then the run is 3.5 loops, get the wristbands. What are we expecting for on the bike course at the aid stations? What do we got this year?
So we'll have our Mortal. I'm not sure which flavor it'll be. Morton gels and bars, our water, oranges or bananas, not oranges. Yeah,
Cool.
and then your personal needs at the high school.
Okay. And then the aid stations on the run course.
Yeah, so we'll have, again, Mortal, not sure what flavor, different flavor from the bike, so you'll get to switch it up. The Morton bars and gels, chips, pretzels. We'll have chicken broth after dark, cola or flat Coke, and water, of course.
Yes, endurance athletes love their flat Coke. It's a welcome sight. I know you see that in the Tour de France where the athletes at times, Coke's big over there. They'll grab a Coke and they'll chug a Coke. That just little sugar, especially the flat stuff, is easier on the tummy. It's a good thing. And then anything else? So we've got race weekend. What about if you're showing up like Wednesday or Thursday? Where are some good places that you would suggest as a local there that you would recommend to check out to eat? A, prior to race, and then maybe B, also like where would you celebrate? Maybe Sunday, I guess. Yeah, Sunday or after the race. It's going to be a little late Saturday night, but where could you go for those?
Well, of course, the brewery downtown, RAR Brewery. So that's a hot spot to go. Good beer, burgers. They even have salads. So if you're trying to have something a little healthier. Ocean Odyssey, right on Route 50, has really good seafood. If you're looking for that, you can get crabs. Well, if you want to get some true blue Maryland crabs, that's a great place to go. Blackwater Bakery downtown is awesome for breakfast or lunch. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. Oh, and then Portside. So that's right by the drawbridge as you come into town, right on the water. So that's a great spot to chill out and relax. I think that would be a good post-race Sunday celebration area.
Awesome, cool. All right. So anything else, Angie, that you can think of that we need to add for anybody coming to the race this coming weekend?
I know people hear a lot about jellyfish in Maryland. So we do have some in the river. They're not going to be gone. But Brian, our race director, actually did a recent video where he went in, grabbed a jellyfish, and he stung himself with it just to show you it's not that bad.
We're crazy. Us race directors were nuts.
But we have this really cool product called Stingaway that'll be in the change tents, and he used that on himself as well, and it really works. It took the sting away almost immediately, so we'll have that available. Luckily, we are probably will be a wetsuit legal swim, even though we won't give you that final official word until race morning. But if it is a wetsuit legal swim, then you really only have to worry about your hands and feet and face. And jellyfish don't sting the bottom of your hands or the bottoms of your feet. So the areas that they can sting you is really reduced. But we actually had two local athletes swim the course earlier today, just to see what it was like, and they said it wasn't bad at all. They ran into a few jellyfish. Luckily, the ones out there now are small, which means they have tiny little tentacles. So it's not like the big ones with long tentacles that'll get all wrapped up in you. So even if you do get stung, it might just be like a little zap, nothing too big to be worried about.
Gotcha. I'm glad you have that. That's a new product that you guys are using, right?
It is, yeah. We just found it in Florida.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's very good to know. And jellies, you can't do anything about it. It's, it's dependent on like the water, what temperature, and if it's warmer, they like to go to that area and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. And I will, yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention is we have a lot of really awesome first timer programming all week. So if you're a first time Ironman athlete, I'd encourage you to take advantage of that. It's all on the schedule. We have a couple Q&As. We have on Thursday our first timer Become One clinic, which is a walkthrough over at Jerry Bull Park, where you can really get a feel of transition, the change tent, swim start, swim finish, how all that's going to work. So if you're a first timer, still a little unsure about things, have questions, definitely check out all of our first timer activities that we have going on. They'll really help you out for race day.
100% recommend. The more info you know, and still sometimes you might go to everything and you forget a little something, but the more information that you can put into your head beforehand, not to overload, but just to kind of make it race morning when you're doing these things. You finish the swim, you're exhausted, you're like, all right, just let me stop it. I got stung, get some of this stuff on, but just learn stuff and use this if this is your first time. Just go through it, take a deep breath, relax, get through the event. It's got a lot of work to do this swim, obviously do 112 miles on the bike, then to go stinking, get off the bike and go run a marathon. It's a lot. So, these type of Q&A question areas where you can talk to a pro, you can talk to a coach, and just get information, and that way you can better prepare yourself for, the next morning, the race morning, or in a couple days, just kind of, sift through some of your thoughts, what you're going to do, and so you're not, I see that sprint tries where somebody forgets their helmet. I've seen the guy that got me into triathlons one year, a couple years after I met him, he got me into tries. I'm at this local sprint triathlon. I'm at the dismount line, and this guy at one point he was like a top-notch world in the U.S., one of the best duathletes. He was doing this little local sprint try with 125 people, and he forgets to snap his helmet. So he's at the mount area, and I get in front of his bike, and I'm like, stop. He's like, what? Snap your helmet, and then boop. Where at an Ironman, you can get in trouble, so you need to make sure that helmet's snapped. You want to do that at the bike. When you're getting your bike, before you go anywhere, snap that baby. First thing you do, boom. And those little things. So relax, get through the race. What you're doing, I haven't done what you guys are going to do on Saturday. I'm really inspired. It's really, when I was on the run course, it was truly inspiring to see not just the first person, but the last person, and the people that just have missed the cutoff. They've been out there for hours and hours and hours. So once you're done, if you finished in 13 hours, 15 hours, get something in your body, refuel, and then if you can make it back out, go back out and cheer those people on that are fighting every step of the way to get to that finish line. When you guys are cheering them on, the aid stations, the spectators, the people that have finished 5 hours before me. If I were to do it, it's really amazing to have you guys there helping encourage the athletes on. It really does mean, because there's so many mental games that go on that when I did Muscle Man a few weeks ago, I wanted to stop at mile 2 on the bike, and I knew that people were waiting and people were cheering me on. And so, having those people cheer you on is truly amazing. So come on out. I'm actually looking forward to seeing you guys on race day. I wish I could be working all week, but I'll be there race day to cheer you guys on. So thanks, Angie Hengst, Operations Director for Ironman, Ironman Maryland, and Eagle Man, and a whole bunch of other events in the southeastern part of the U.S., correct?
Yes, that's my region.
And it's a great staff there. If you're racing this weekend, get a chance to talk to some of the staff, talk to the volunteers that race week. They do an awesome job. Working events, it's pretty tiring, but it's also exciting to see people accomplish some of their lifelong goals, or a big goal that they have in life. And some of these people have overcome incredible life challenges, whether they're dealing with cancer, they've overcome cancer, they're going through some treatments, they have a lot of stuff going on in their life. I know, is it Brian Boyle?
Brian Boyle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's overcome a near death car accident many years ago, and he was here this year, and he's done a lot of your events. He's from that area. There's so many athletes that, when you're racing on race day, there's so many athletes that have inspiring stories, at all of these events. And I like to think of each athlete has their own story, and it's one of the things that makes this, being a race director involved with Ironman, such a cool experience. There's all these people, there's so much going on behind the scenes and it's just an honor to put these events on. And so thanks for all you do, Angie. Angie's been an inspiration, super helpful for me. And I wouldn't be doing this still if it weren't for people like you and Sammy and Drew Wolf that's over in Nice right now. And so all of you guys and Brant, there's so many people. So thanks for all that you've doing, Angie. Any last second thoughts?
No, I'm just super excited for everyone to get here, to see everyone. If you see us, make sure you stop and say hi. We love to talk to everyone and just chat with you. But just enjoy the day. You've done all the training, so just enjoy all the hard work you put into it and have an awesome day.
And all right, so race director Brian Snow, you're not here tonight, but we're thinking about you and all that you're gonna do this week, and you're gonna do amazing. And cheering you on, I can't wait to see you on Saturday. And I'll probably tell you to keep drinking water. So all right, that's one of the things that we say to each other, race directors. Have you drank any water? Drank any water lately in the last 3 hours? All right. Well, thanks, Angie Hengst.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing everybody Saturday. And if you're doing Ironman Maryland in just a few days, one of my things is I always say, don't forget, start swimming. If you're starting to swim right now,
I know.
it's gonna be a rough day. So, all right, take care, and we'll see everybody real soon.
Thanks. See ya.